Hi guys, it's Ray here from City Fan TV. I hope you're all well. I'm sat here outside our apartment, just outside Paris. Lovely blue skies. It's been not a sweltering day, but it's been a hot day today. It's been about 24 degrees. If you've seen the video I did this morning about some of the things that have gone wrong for City this season in the league, you'll see it's lovely blue skies, and it's going to be hot in France, around Paris especially, this coming week. It's up to 28, 29. Next week it's in the 30s, which is plenty hot enough. Hi Danny, hope you're well, buddy. Well, we're here tonight to talk about the Newcastle game, the preview for the Newcastle game, City versus Newcastle tomorrow evening. I'm just waiting, hopefully, for Clinton to come online and do this live stream with me. I'm just hey Chris, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're well. Hope you're still reveling in your that little thing called a title win. Trying to do this on my balcony. I've not tried this before. Trying to just hope. I was actually hoping to go and sit outside, but I'm not sure my Wi-Fi would have stretched that far, and I didn't fancy using my hotspot on this. Might see, it's gonna be quite funny actually if some people come past who know me and they want to talk, not realizing that I'm actually doing a live stream. That'd be quite funny. It's nice actually sitting. I never used this. This balcony we used to use for, we have plants. We used to have plants over there, plants behind me, and the boxes all across there. That used to be really nice. Just give Clinton a few minutes, guys. So yeah, I'll just not big up, but pump or bump my video I did today. It's about this. I said 7 reasons why City have bombed. Hi GSG, hope you're well. Yeah, so that was that video today. Why City has bombed in the league this season. I give 7 reasons. Might have been more. There's plenty more. So that was an enjoyable video to do. I did a Pep press conference. So I've done that one this afternoon, and obviously we're doing this one tonight. And then tomorrow, I think I'm going to try and squeeze this video out. I've got a lot of work on tomorrow, but I'm going to try and squeeze the video out about this a transfer in and someone out. That's going to be interesting. Chris, it's not. No, look, Chris, you might have you increased, yes, and that's part of the reason our guys gave up before Christmas. So bigger is a lot of other things. Company not being replaced as a defender and as a leader, losing Fernandinho from DM. People don't realize how important he was at breaking up attacks before they became attacks. It's not by fouling or anything, but just his nous. People don't realize Rodri's not the same. I mean, you got to remember we were trying to buy Jorginho the season before. Yeah, Jorginho's not a Fernandinho type of player, and Rodri is, you could argue, is more Jorginho than Fernandinho. So that's been a change, and players getting older. Aguero's in his 30s. David Silva's in his 30s, about 32, 33. I think Aguero's 32, David Silva's 33, might even 34. I can't remember now. Fernandinho's 34, 35. So, it's like I feel we've got too many players over the age of 30, and that definitely has an impact. I sent that message to Clinton. I don't know if he's got it yet. So let me send him. Let me just pull his details up. Just give us a sec, guys. Let's just try and pull his details up. And let me just send him a message. He hasn't picked it up. We'll get him on when he gets here. As I said, I've got an absolute shed load of work on tomorrow. Hey, Clinton's here. Hey, Clinton, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Sat on my balcony. I'm actually in France. Lucky on me. But look, with the lockdown and not being able to go to games, Thought might as well. We've got a lot of work to do here. We've got the flat here. We're selling it, and we sold it. You can see from the sale sign there, it's been sold. So we're having to empty it, and at least we're enjoying some sunshine. Clinton, what we normally do, we say a big hello to you and thank you very much for coming on the channel. But what I'm going to do is give you 30 seconds or so to tell the guys about who you are, what you do, about your channel, and how they can subscribe and stuff like that. So I'm just going to click off and you get on.
Oh, okay. So left to it. So as he said, my name's Clinton. I run a channel called Geordies Down South, which obviously, as you can tell by my accent, I'm not a born and bred Geordie, but obviously I support Newcastle United. There's about a good 6 to 7 of us that go on the channel. In fact, we just done a preview not too long ago. We did a live because obviously we're facing you lot tomorrow. Hopefully not trying to get a pasting again like we did in the FA Cup quarterfinals. But yeah, I've been supporting Newcastle for the past 20 odd years now. As you can tell, I'm not from Newcastle, I'm from London, hence the name is in the title. But yeah, just wanted to kind of pick your brains and see how you guys are looking forward to this game. And hopefully it's a result that could benefit us this time around rather than you guys. Because yeah, you've been on the better end of Manchester City versus Newcastle, haven't you?
Yeah. Guys, if you want to, have a look at Clinton's channel. The stuff's there, and hopefully once we've finished the stream, I'll get a link and stick that out in the comment section or somewhere or the description. I'm just going to give a few hellos to people. Blackpool Blu-rays. Hi mate, Chris Welch. She's asking if it's quiet in France with lockdown. Actually, it's a lot more normal than the UK, and it feels a lot safer. A lot more people are wearing masks. The incidence of COVID-19 here is much lower. I think there was yesterday 176 new cases, 13 deaths, which is a lot less than the UK, and it feels getting back to normal. Kids are out doing stuff with school, so just let the guys know. Right. Sorry?
What part of France are you in?
Just outside Paris. So like 15, 20 minutes from central Paris. So yeah, it's nice and warm. No, it's going to get hot. So I only got Clinton about 20 minutes ago. We just been sending messages today, but I've been out a lot, visiting neighbours who've been looking after our place, and helping us out. So you've got to go and spend some time with them to thank them. So a lot of this, guys, it's all going to be off the cuff. So Clinton, first question: how many goals do you think you lose by tomorrow night? Only joking, man. Only joking.
No, that's a legit question. That is a legit question.
It's not. No. Do you? Okay, I'll twist the question around. How worried are you about playing City after we've just come off a defeat against Southampton? And I don't think this season we've lost 9 games out of 33, which is now I don't know how many you've lost, but it's not going to be a lot more than 9. Does that give you hope?
No, it's quite the opposite. Like you were saying, you just come off the back of a defeat, and if I remember correctly, in the previous game, obviously you weren't coming off the back of a defeat, but you just lost the league title. Yeah. So basically, you're pissed off. So again, you're going to come into this game again in the same sort of way, being pissed off against a Newcastle team that is very we're injuring them. We've got looks like St. Maximin's not going to play. Looks like Almiron's not going to play. Lascelles is a doubt. Hayden's a doubt. So that's pretty much all of our leadership and all of our midfield out, and we're playing against you guys. So yeah, I'm very scared.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd be concerned because the one thing City, one of the problems for us this season, we've been inconsistent. We've not been able to. We played well in most games, almost all the games. But we've not managed to string 3 victories together back to back. More than 3, sorry. We got to 3, and that's it. We've never got to 4. But I don't think we've lost 2 on the bounce either. And I'm expecting us to come back. There's got to be some hurt pride, and that's what I'm relying on. But also, does it give you any hope that with all this changing of personnel, we do a lot of rotation. Last game, I think we changed 6 players. One game we changed 8. Does that give you hope? Because it does leave you at risk of being a bit disjointed. when we saw the last game when KDB and Foden came on the pitch. We went from, I mean, they were great players, but we went from a position where we were well on top against Southampton, looked like we were going to score, to a position where we were falling apart. So does that rotation give you some hope as well?
Not really, if I'm honest, because in terms of your rotation, when you rotate, you're rotating quality for quality. We've barely got a decent 11. So when we rotate, it's tits up anyway, regardless of who we play. And again, if we're playing against the likes of you lot, if you take Mahrez out of the team, you probably still got Foden waiting in the wings. If you take Guerrero out of the team, you still got Jesus waiting in the wings. So we just can't match you guys. I think the only thing that we kind of can do is bring the National Express, Mega Bus, put both of them in front of the goal, and then just hope for the best. I mean, I really can't see it any way from that. I don't know how we beat you before. I mean, under Rafa, but if there's any chance that we can do that again, I'll be running up and down the road, mate. I'll be jumping for joy.
Well, you've done really, really well this season. I mean, how surprised are you by how you've done under Steve Bruce? And do you think he's underrated or overrated? Has this just been a fluke for Steve Bruce?
Look, it's no like obvious thing. Like we wanted Rafa to stay. He didn't stay. We got Bruce, which was a bit underwhelming to say the least. And he surprised a few, including me. Do you know what I mean? Like, got us to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup.
Yeah,
we're mid-table. We've got more points now than what Rafa accumulated last season, with obviously games to go. So a lot of us have had to kind of eat humble pie. You know, we didn't expect to do this well. We've had some good times. We've had some really bad times throughout the season, which is a typical Newcastle season. But overall, I would have to say we are impressed by Bruce. And I don't know if this takeover does happen. I think he has put himself in a good light to kind of at least be given another year.
Yeah. Talking about the takeover, and Chris is asking about that. It looks like it's kind of on hold, but it also looks like it's going to go through. That's my gut feeling, is it's going to go through somehow. If the Saudis take over, I mean, how excited are you for what could happen to Newcastle? Do you see them becoming like City, or would you? I mean, that could be like the dream. Or would you be happy that at least if you get into Europe, that's your starting point, and then challenging for a Champions League spot and just see where you go? I mean, how are you looking forward to it?
I mean, I'm kind of and I'm not. And the reason why I'm saying I'm not is because we've been here before, so many times before, where someone's going to take over. They've got the money. They found the money. Ashley's agreed, and it's fallen out the last hurdle, and it kind of still has that air about it. I mean, you guys probably can educate us more on it, because obviously you've gone and done it, and you know, don't know how many years you are down the line, but you've got several league titles and all these trophies underneath your belt, so you can educate us on it. But I think the main thing for us is just getting rid of Mike Ashley. You know, no matter who we sign, doesn't matter who's managing the club, as long as we get rid of Mike Ashley, we can put that one to bed, and hopefully, touch wood. I mean, I know they're saying the grass isn't always greener on the other side, but it's got to be better than this. We've had 13 years of staying still and not progressing, and we've seen the likes of yourselves go ahead of us. All these other teams that have come up, they're even spending more than us. We're just kind of just staying within our means, and we don't want that. We want something to kind of cling on to. Us as Newcastle fans, we're like you guys. We're passionate about our club. We are hard-earned money. We turn up, and we expect to be entertained. We don't want to come to Manchester City and part of the bus. We want to have a go sometimes, and I don't think we can do that under this current regime. Yeah, I'm
going to say a quick hi to Ikram and Robert and everybody else who's come on recently. It is. We've had the Sheikh's been owner of Man City for 12 years now, and in that time we've won 4 league titles. I think it's 4 league.
We love one, just one.
We won the FA Cup twice. We've won the Carabao Cup or the League Cup. I think it's 5 times in 7 years. It's quite ridiculous. And
we take that. Yeah. This is the thing. We would take that.
But I think the thing is now, it was hard when we got taken over. It took a few years, took us 3 years to get the FA Cup, 3 or 4 years, and then the league. And I think it's even more difficult because of where City have gone to, the levels they've gone to, where Liverpool are now, where Chelsea and United look like they're going to move to. But it's not just about the money. It's about the structure and the management and the board and the facilities. I mean, that's what City did in the first 2 or 3 years. You know, they revamped the training facilities, the medical facilities, everything. You know, even the players, I think they sleep there before the game, and they focused on the colours of the paint in the rooms so that they could fall asleep better and get a better night's sleep. They left no stone unturned. So I think if Newcastle go down that route, as long as the fans stay patient, it's not going to be. Don't expect. Some fans have told me we're going to win the league within 2 or 3 years.
No.
It's going to be baby steps.
Yeah, I think the more logical fans kind of know that sort of thing. As I said before, they just want Ashley out. The whole Mbappe is going to sign and we're going to get this manager and all the rest of it. That's all laughs and jokes. Even I've been joking about it. I mean, we're so far behind in all of that sort of stuff. I mean, our training facilities gets laughed about all the time. You know, there's that picture that's been floating about social media for years about 5 of our lads in paddling pools as our rehabilitation pool. So there's so many things that we need to progress on behind the scenes. Our academy is not the best. I was about to say show, it's not the best. I mean, we're never going to get the likes of a Phil Foden coming through for a good long while. And we've been losing our best talent over the years to, you know, Carrick obviously ended up at West Ham and Shearer came back to us eventually, but he started off at Southampton. So it's never been the best in that sort of sense. But we're starting to progress now. Obviously, we've had the 2 Longstaff brothers come through. They're making their mark. We've got, you know, Paul Dummett. He's a product of the academy. Yeah. So it's not all bad, but those things that you mentioned there, we want to see more. Do you know what I mean? We want to see, you know, players that have grown up around the area and they've been good enough to be on the pitch. And I think going back to what Sir John Hall said years and years ago about you'd love to see 11 Geordies on the pitch. I'm sure you guys are the same. You love to see. We'd love it.
We'd love it. But it's taken us 12 years. It's taken us 12 years now. We've got Phil Foden. We've got, even though he's not a local lad, we've got Garcia, who's come through the academy. I mean, he's been here 3 years. Came when he was 16. We've got a few others that look like they're going to get a chance. Tommy Doyle, he's training with the big boys. Taylor Howard-Bellis, he's a local lad. He's, I think, 17 or 18, and he's training with the first team at the moment. So and the funny thing is, I think Garcia, you know, he's a City fan now. He came from Barcelona, but I've lost you. I've lost myself.
I missed
but he thinks, no, I'm sat outside. Anything can happen. But Garcia says he's a City fan. So, you know, even though he was 16 when he came, but he's grown up here, really. He's latter teenagers under Pep. And so hopefully the same will happen to you. You've got that catchment area. You're the biggest club in the Northeast. You should be getting and keeping your players, your young players for longer rather than letting them go. And hopefully this will help to make that happen. What's left for you this season? You've got an outside chance of getting into Europe. How outside is that chance?
I don't know really at the moment in time, because there was sort of talks that we could have gone up to, I think, 7th if we beat West Ham over the weekend. Obviously we didn't. And obviously then this game, I don't think anyone's expecting us to get any points. So it's like we're not taking full advantage of the games that we should be winning. West Ham we should be winning. Watford who've won tonight. We should have looked to get a point out of them, but you know, it all depends on what Newcastle turns up on the day, really, because we're so up and down. It's unreal. I think the West Ham game just signals it all. The fact that we had an opportunity to go and win the game after we got back into the game. We didn't. We went a goal down. Then we come back. And it's just like, lads, let's get some momentum going. Because I think I've seen it season in, season out. When we get to 40 points, that's it. Shut up shop. We're done. We're never usually in competitions by then. We're never anywhere close to the top of the table by then. And it's been years since we've been anywhere near. I think last time we was anywhere near the top 5 was when Pardew was here, and that's you know how many years that ago that was. So
longer ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So we never usually have anything to fight for. So it's like we're only playing just to kind of getting the fixtures out of the way. Basically, that's what it is.
But I look at the table. Okay, now you've got. It could go down to 8th, depending on what happens to City, whether we get the Champions League ban, whether we win the FA Cup. I think that affects it as well. So it could end up going down to 7th or 8th. Now, 8th, currently are Spurs on 48 points. You're on 43. You know, if you could, like Southampton, they're on 43 now. So you get a shot win at City, that gets you onto 46 points. You're only 2 points behind Spurs and Sheffield United.
Ray, nah, don't get us too ahead of ourselves, mate. Listen, there'll be people watching this. If there's any Newcastle fans watching this, like, we're trying to take each game at a time. I know it sounds boring, but
you're in good form. You're in good form, Clinton. You've got 3 wins and 2 draws in your last 5 games. City have got 3 wins and 2 losses. What concerns me for Newcastle is you've not scored many goals. Now, you've only scored 35 league goals in 33 games. And if City go ahead, I just can't. I think that's going to be one thing. If City go ahead, I just can't see you coming back, and I can only see it going one way. So that is a problem. And you spend a lot of money. You've got, off the top of my head, you got that St. Maximan or Maxim. You got Joe Linton, and you got Almiron.
Yeah.
So they cost you a lot of money. Why are you still not scoring goals?
Here's the thing. I know you say we spend a lot of money, but if you look into it, we really haven't. Like, the sale of Perez was 35 million, so that kind of offsets 2 of them at least. There's Premier League money that drops in every single year. We haven't. It's
not about the money, but what I'm saying is you've got 3 guys across your
line.
line.
It's just we don't spend wisely. I mean, again, have to go back to the Rafa situation there. Yeah. When Rafa left, it's all come up now in the news, so it's common knowledge now that he didn't want Joe Linton to sign. He definitely said he wasn't worth the 40 million that we ended up paying for him. So I think he wanted Rondon to stay, and Rondon was an absolute G for us. Like last season's,
he was your man.
Yeah, he was our guy. He had Almiron running off him, Perez running off him. It worked superb. It's just not worked for Joe Linton this season. 2 goals from I think 32 starts or something like that. It's just not a good return, as you know. Do you know what I mean? We haven't got that. And then below that, you've got Andy Carroll coming back for this return. Yeah, he's good, but he's not the Andy Carroll of old when we first threw him into the team. Dwight Gale, bit hit and miss.
Dwight Gale is not a Premier League footballer. Dwight Gale is a Championship footballer that can get you into the Premier League, and then you flog him because he's proven he's not good enough. The thing is, do you see anything in those 3 guys? I mean, I like that St. Maxim.
Oh yeah. I always say to people, let's enjoy him while he's here, because he gives me the same sort of feel that when we had Gini Wijnaldum. Yeah. And I was like, Gini Wijnaldum's not going to stay. He's too good for us. And lo and behold, St. Maximin's the guy. We pin our hopes on him. You could see on the weekend against West Ham, they had 3 men around him because that's how good he is, and he could still weave his way in and out. He is that good. If you tell me we spent 40 million on St. Maximin and 17 million on Joe Linton, that way round, I would believe it more because he's that good.
The thing is, a lot of players do need that first season to acclimatise. Some of the lads, it's a new country. Some of them, it's a new language. Even Almiron, who's come from the United States, going up to Newcastle, that's a new language for him. They don't speak English up there. But and it's new food, new culture, new everything, new league. So I've always said you've got to give a player a couple of seasons. But so do you see enough? Well, I think we can agree. St. Maxim, there's something there. Do you see enough with Almiron and Joe Linton to think next season they can start banging in the goals?
Almiron, yes. It's taken him a while. He's been here 18 months now, and he didn't score for pretty much the first year. Only now he's starting to come to fruition now. I still feel he needs to be a bit more selfish, though. Like, you'll see Mahrez against us. He was just taking pot shots from everywhere. He wanted to score top bins, and I was like, one of those is going to go in. I wanted to be that selfish. Sometimes it's like when ASM and Miggy are playing at the same time, it's the ASM show and Miggy takes a back seat. But I wanted to be that selfish, like, oh, here, give me the ball. I want it as much as you. Joe Linton, on the other hand, I'm struggling to see it. First half of the season, we played him out of position. We've got this fascination about having an old school number 9. Ever since the days of Shearer and the rest of it, we tried to play him like that. Didn't work. We've now played him in his preferred position, lo and behold, out on the wide, coming in. He's looking a bit better, but I still don't see the £40 million forward that we paid for. I don't see it. So it's just, we're going to have to keep persisting because we spent a lot of money. As 40 million is nothing to you guys, but 40 million is everything to us.
Oh, it's a lot of money. I mean, we won't spend more than 60 million. What worries me is you hear stories of transfers that the big money and the players are rubbish, and you worry sometimes that why have they been signed? So, and sometimes it's because an agent's getting some money, or I'm not saying anything's happened here, but he just doesn't look a £40 million player. And if you paid £4 million for him, you'd still be disappointed because of his. It's true. His return this season hasn't been good enough.
Yeah.
There's a story. I mean, about, I don't know where the 40 million's come from. Who's talked about that, and whether there's anything actual. The selling club have put it in their accounts or something. But I remember when we got Joe, a Brazilian fella from Russia. He was rubbish. He was really, really bad. And we were told that we paid 17 million quid for him. And I heard the story is actually that we paid about 4 or 5 million quid for him, but someone said 17, and the chairman liked that. He wanted people to think that we splashed out a lot of money, so they wanted people to like him for spending so much money. So he said, "I don't want to tell the truth. I'm happy for that rumor to become reality that we paid 17 million." He was rubbish. I don't know whether Joe Linton actually cost 40 million, or someone's doing something dodgy because, as I said, he's rubbish.
Nah. Listen, mate, you're speaking to convert. I've amount of away games and home games I've gone to this season and seen him play in the flesh. I'm like, how's this guy even a professional footballer, let alone in the Premier League, wearing our precious number 9 shirt? I really don't see it. It's so baffling to me because Mike Ashley's a stickler for saving cash, and when you could have had one on for I think about 17 million, I think that was the release clause. Fair enough, he's later on in life in terms of, like, I think he's 30 odd. That's cool. And Ashley loves a sell-on clause. That's the reason why he signed John in for like 40 million. He's 23. Yeah. But 17 million guaranteed goals, knows the league, probably would have cost less in terms of wages. Or we got 40 million Joe Linton, currently our top earner, and he can't even trap a bag of cement. I don't understand it.
Can you imagine what you'd have been like with Almiron, Saint Maxim, and Rondon? And your defense is quite decent, and if you just, I mean, it's like one of these dreams, ifs, buts, and maybes. But if you'd scored another 10 or 12 goals this season, where could you have been? If you'd kept the door shut as well, if you could have won another 3 or 4 games, you'd be in Europe next season.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many if, buts, and maybe situations. I mean, there's so many times that we've lost leads. There's so many times that, we've given silly goals away. I mean, our Achilles heel is still set pieces. We still can't defend them for anything. I mean, the West Ham game showed it all with the second goal. Easy goal for Souček. We tried to cut that under Rafa. For some reason, it's now creeping back. We could be here for hours going through like the little finer details. It's just we want to get to the next level. You know what I mean? We want to get to your stage. Even like I was discussing this with my mate, like we've seen the Man City transition where we were signing the likes of Joe and Rocky Santa Cruz and Craig Bellamy's and the rest of it, and Milanos, and then you made the transition to the Robinhos and stuff like that. So
the first signing City made was Robinho. They made that statement signing, but they signed a lot of dross. They got people like Wayne Bridge. They signed some dross as well. And I think that's why I say the structure, and you've got to have the right people in charge, because they're going to make the difference whether you make a transition to being, at least, I think Newcastle's next step, if you do it in stages, is getting to the Europa, finishing in the top 8, get 7 or 8, then challenging for the Champions League positions and then getting in. That might take 5 years, I think.
Listen, we've had 13 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, we'll take a couple of years of actually looking at some attractive football for a change over that any day.
When I say you need the right people in, otherwise that's 5 years, could take 7 or 8. I mean, we look at City and said we won the title under Manuel Pellegrini, but that was mostly the players that came from Roberto Mancini. And then by the time Pellegrini left, we weren't rubbish. We won the Carabao Cup, but in 2 seasons we won a Carabao Cup and we were struggling. We weren't competing again. And then Pep came, another season of nothing, and then it took time. So we basically went through the doldrums for 3 seasons by having.
I love your level of struggling compared to our level of struggling. Wow, our level of struggling is playing like whoever in the championship. Your level is struggling. It's like, oh, we only got a Carabao Cup this season. I'm like,
Well,
that's the level.
you know what I mean? But what I'm saying, we fell away. We fell away because something went wrong, and they were waiting for Pep as well. And you can kind of look at it and say it felt like 3 or 4 wasted years, because we won the title in 2012, and then 2013, Mancini got sacked, and 2014 Pellegrini won it, and then but don't get me wrong, we had a good bit of success, but it felt like we fell away before having to come back, and that's what a mistake can do. It can cost you 2 or 3 years. Look at Liverpool with Hodgson. It cost them a little bit of time, and then Rodgers, they went up there and then they fell away. So I just hope, for your sakes, you get the right person in, the right person to spend the money, because you can throw money left, right, and centre. If you buy the wrong players, I mean, you can look at people like Everton, really struggled with the amount of money they've spent. And clubs, when they come up, like Villa, struggling after spending 100 odd million. Fulham went down after spending so much. So you could spend 250 million and still struggle. It's just, I hope the Geordie fans have that patience.
Now we have, mate. Listen, 13 years is patience enough. And even like the times that we have come close, do you know what I mean? We're very patient in that. I don't buy into the whole Geordie fans are all expecting to be in the Champions League every single year. No, we're not. We just want to see decent football and a team that tries. That's the first thing.
You know what I mean? This is the first time for a few years that you got to a latter stages of a cup.
Yes,
and that's what you want to be doing every year. At least feel that you're taking it seriously. I'm going to round it off right now, Clinton, by asking you for a score prediction for tomorrow night.
Boy, I mean, anything like a draw would be decent. If we can keep the score down to at least just only conceded minimum 2, that'd be great. But I've got to go with a draw. I'm going to back my team 2-2. I'll see a question from Chris as well. So, who would I like as manager to take over happens? No, I don't want Bruce as manager. I just want to ask this question. So, in stages, I'm all for stages. So, Rafa back for a couple of years, get things going back the way it was, stability. And then after that, I think we need to go for a more younger coach, someone like a Pochettino, if he's still around, if he's still waiting in the wings. I think he's still got a point to prove. Spurs, I would love to see that. That would be my 2 picks. So Rafa for 2 years and then Pochettino for...
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say no to Pochettino right now for you guys, because you'd like to think what he's done at Southampton was progressive. What he did at Spurs was very progressive. All right, he struggled after that, getting to the Champions League final, but it's been very progressive. He's done really well in 8 years in English football, and I think he's the right, for me anyway, he's the right profile. Works with young players. He can work to a budget, but if his hands aren't tied, he could do really well. I'm just going to answer this question from Oscar. I was going to go, but he says, I have no idea about City pre-takeover. I've been supporting City for over 40 years. I do know about City pre-takeover. I do know about, Stuart Pearce as manager, and scoring, was it 10 goals in a whole season at home. I do know about some crap football that when I used to live around London, going to watch City play, and getting beat whenever we went to Arsenal or Chelsea, QPR, going to Crystal Palace or Wimbledon, whoever was playing at Sellers back at the time. So I do know a little bit, but I'm knocking on. I do forget stuff, and I do remember a lot of stuff since takeover, because when that happened, you became reinvigorated with football. We became reinvigorated with Thaksin Shinawatra when he came in, and then I spent a lot of time studying stuff like FFP when that came in, and other stuff that was going on. So I've done some of the hard yards watching us be crap, and now I'm watching us be good, and I'd rather remember us being good than us being crap. So
all that to come then when we get taken over, and they'll be like, "Oh, Clinton, you was only around since the good times." I'll be like, "No, here's a time where I was beat 5-0, and here's a time when we got relegated, and I was watching us in the Championship and all the rest of it." Yeah. So
I'll finish off with my score prediction. I think obviously you're going to come on frustrators. That's where you generally play. You're going to try and be compact, not give us any space in the final third, not really attack too much. I think that's a mistake. We saw Southampton against City. They kept 2 men up front, and they made sure they kept us honest. And you saw the goal came from having 2 men up there and Zinchenko trying to do something a bit too extravagant in the middle of the park. But Southampton had 2 men all the time. And then when someone got the ball, they might push a third one up, even a fourth one. So, they had a little bit of ambition. And I hope you can do the same because, yes, it's a bit risky as well. But that risk paid off for them. If you sit back, I think the chances of you winning are like 10% of getting something out of the game. Yeah. I think if City score early, we'll score at least 3. I think I'm going to go for 3-1. I'll give you a goal.
Thank you.
Joe Linton. Joe Linton for me.
No, good. Yeah, all right, fair enough.
A Joe Linton mishit that was going wide and gets a deflection and goes in. How about that?
Sounds about right. I think we're looking into the future there. That sounds about right, mate. I'm
just going to say a shout out to my man Waleed Hope, who's just come on, and I'm just getting off. Waleed, if no one knows, he's a YouTuber from Algeria, big, obviously Mahrez fan. He's got a small channel over there with about 105,000 subscribers, so he's doing all right.
Wow.
So, hi to you, Waleed. Right, guys, I'm going to shoot. I've got to say massive thanks to you, Clinton. And if you're free tomorrow night after the game, if you want to come on for 2 or 3 minutes, do a review afterwards, you're more than welcome. Good to see Geordie fans at last. I've been struggling to find them this season, but have a good night, mate, and we'll chat again either tomorrow night or next season when you're fighting us for the league.
If only, mate. If only. Oh, just let me shout out my channel. Geordie's down south, by the way. Geordie's down south.
I'll try and dig it out, and tomorrow I'll stick it on the channel. So when people watch it tomorrow, it'll be there in the description or the comment section.
Brilliant, mate. Cheers for that.
Thanks, Clinton. Have a good one.
And you.
Why, aye, man.